Now we'll begin the countdown video.
Reena, are you there?
Yeah, I'm very much there.
Okay, you can now take forward the program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for keeping all of you waiting for quite some time because there was a technical glitch and it was really very difficult for me to log in, but somehow I managed to do it. So today what we will be focusing upon is Saree. It's a beautiful drape that gives elegance to a lady. A drape that is our tradition. A drape that keeps us, just a moment. Sorry, I have my pet with me who is he wants to talk to everybody, but it's not possible. So, sari is something which anybody can carry, and really, it makes a woman look beautiful. Whether you wear it, there are so many different ways of wearing a sari. And here, today we have some ladies who are amazing people who have really given this drape a different recognition, something which all of us, especially me, today I'm not in a sari because it's too cold over here in Dehradun, but yes, my favorite attire is sari. Be it anything, any place, I'm always there in a sari. So I would like to introduce Sushim. He's a young man, a student of grade 8. He studies in Tagore International School, New Delhi, South Delhi rather. He's an ardent artist and likes to paint using various mediums. He's passionate about people of war zone as he feels they go through a lot of suffering to live their lives. In fact, he feels that because of them, we are safe today. He is a part of a special global coding event where he learned about the Red Planet and took part in an exciting Mission Mars coding hackathon. Also an excellent swimmer and footballer, he's a very good actor too. He created a movie for Chin Film Festival of India. He recently played a role of Ram Prasad Bismil for his school Independence Day celebration. His interest lies on reading and researching on militants. Sushim, can we have you on the screen, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is Sushim, a great visionary. In fact, we can say he can be one of the aspiring Indians for future. Right, Sushim?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
In fact, he will be inspiring many children of his age.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sushim, could you please play the vision video?
Yes, ma'am.
XENA World Vision Document. We're a family bringing joy, happiness, prosperity in our lives and around by nurturing, encouraging, catalyzing, enabling 360-degree well-being in physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and economic dimensions. Our vision: abundance of joy, happiness, care, and prosperity for all. Our mission: we strive for alleviating pain, suffering, and poverty, encouraging unshackled free thoughts, enabling dignified jobs and livelihood, nurturing close family bonding, seeking joy and happiness in the impact caused. Our values: passion, work with passion and from heart. Our values: humility, learning attitude, mutual respect, and open to listening to others. Our values: integrity, sincere, honest, and ethical principles. Our values: empathy, understand and feel others as your own. Our values: humanity, have compassion, brotherhood, fellow feeling, and kindness. Our values: joy, work that brings joy and value, diversity and inclusion. Our character: trust, belief, faith, and confidence in self and in others, from where love and compassion emanate. Our character: virtue, high moral values, patience, consideration, trustworthiness, and forgiveness. Our character: transparency, honesty, openness, and not guarded. Thank you.
Sushim, I would request you to please, if you could, tell us the purpose and the event and its attempted takeaways, if you are aware of it.
No, that you have to do. If you have not prepared, I can understand. You can
No, I
carry
don't
on
need
with
to prepare. I don't need to prepare. The purpose of this event is that all of us should know the importance of what a sari is and what elegance it gives to us and how it helps us carry on our tradition and our method of dressing. As we are Indians, we should definitely learn different methods and about what all kind of drapings are there across the country. Secondly, it's not only in the north or the south or east or west, but sari is worn across the country in different ways. So, first of all, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Sana Bhattacharya. Sana is a student of class 7. She studies in Loyola School BBSR. She has attended as well as has hosted some volunteer talk shows. She has a lot of interest in public speaking. She has also given a keynote address speech once before. This is in XENA. And she also has created websites, started businesses, done entrepreneurship courses, and intern as of now. And she also has interest in artificial intelligence. After all, she is the daughter of Suman Bhattacharya, our expert in AI. Come on, Sana. You're welcome here.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to share my screen. Can anyone tell me, please, if it's visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm honored for having been entrusted with the responsibility of delivering today's keynote address. It's a true reflection of the objective of this foundation, where unshackled growth for children is specifically mentioned. I'm here in front of you only because the foundation has faith in young people like me. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I would firstly like to go with the introduction. So Saree, which is also spelled as S-A-R-E-E, Saree, is a principal outer garment of women of the Indian subcontinent. It consists of a piece of often brightly colored, embroidered, silk, cotton, or in recent years, synthetic cloth, almost 5 to 7 yards long. It is traditionally worn in countries of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. In India, it is more common as people there wear it almost for all occasions. Next is the etymology, which is the history of Saree. So the word Saree comes from the Hindi word, which is S-A-R-I, Saree. And the root of that word is a Sanskrit word, S-A-T-I, Sati, which means a garment or a petticoat. History of Saree-like drapery is traced back to the Indus Valley civilization, which flourished during 2800 to 1800 BCE around the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. Dyes used during this period are still in use, particularly indigo, red madder, and turmeric. Now is the styles of draping. So there are more than 80 recorded ways to wear a saree. The most common style is for the saree to be wrapped around the waist, with the loose end of the drape to be worn over the shoulder. However, the saree can be draped in several different styles, though some styles do require a saree of a particular length or form. The Saree series, which is a non-profit project, which was created back in 2017, is a digital anthology documenting India's regional saree drapes, providing over 80 short films on how to drape the various styles. Now here are the 4 types of saree, which is classified as of in the draping criteria. First is the Navy saree, which is originally worn in the Deccan region. The Bengali and Oriya style is worn without any pleats. Traditionally, the Bengali style is worn without pleats, where the saree is wrapped around in an anti-clockwise direction around the waist, and then a second time from the other direction. The second style is the Gujarati or Rajasthani style, which is after tucking in the pleats similar to the Navy style. The loose end is taken from the back, draped across the right shoulder, and pulled across to be secured in the back. Himalayan saree has a particular word, Kuluvi Pattu, which is a traditional form of woolen saree, which is worn in Himachal Pradesh. Similar variation also worn in Uttarakhand. So this Himalayan saree mainly focuses upon the places, they are worn in the places which are cold. Nepali saree has many different varieties. It has many different ways to drape it. Today, the most common is the Navy drape. These are 4 types of saree in a picture format. This is the Navy saree. This is of back in the olden days. This is the Gujarati saree, Himalayan saree, and Nepali saree. So professional style of saree draping means in India, because of the harsh extremes in the temperature, the saree fills a very practical role as well as a decorative one. Not only warming in winter and cooling in summer, but its loose fitting tailoring is preferred by women who must be free to move as their duties require. For this reason, the first one is the hotel employee. Sarees are worn as uniforms by the female hotel staff of many 5-star luxury hotels in India. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh use it as a symbol of Indian, Sri Lankan, and Bangladeshi culture respectively. The second professional style is of the Air India hostesses. They use it as a uniform. An air hostess style saree is draped in a similar manner to a traditional saree, but most of the pleats are pinned to keep them in one particular place. Mostly air hostesses do wear it, but Air India mainly focuses upon the uniform. The other ones might not always do, because as in Indigo, we don't see them wearing the saris, but in Air India, it focuses a lot because as the name suggests, it's Air India. So India uses sari in every particular occasion. Another one is the female politicians. We might have seen India's first woman prime minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. She used to wear a sari, and even Sonia Gandhi wears it. They have a reason that when they walk in between crowds or too many people together, so that they have no issue with the sari. And they also wear a special blouse for the campaign trail, which is longer than usual and is tucked in. Like here in the picture, you can see her wearing a sari. The next is similarities of sari with any other Asian clothing. So while the sari is typical to traditional wear for women in the Indian subcontinent, clothing worn by women in Southeast Asian countries like Myanmar, Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos resemble it, where a long rectangular piece of cloth is wrapped around in a body. Like these are very olden time pictures, but they are in the East Asian cultural sphere. Here it's China. It's not particularly sari, but it's like sari, like lehenga type. And this is in Japan. This is Korea and Vietnam. Now there are some particular jewelries which go with a particular color of saris. For light colored saris, we use diamond and silver colored jewelry, which goes well with them. Warm colored saris, such as red, yellow, orange, and maroon, they pair up remarkably well with the golden colored jewelry, especially. For cooler shades, silver, diamond, or white stone jewelry goes very well. Types of handloom saris are, first is the Balochari sari, Tasar, Kanchipuram, Banarasi, and Sambalpuri saris. These are some particular handloom saris which are weaved in the factories or in some places where they do some industries. The last content which I'm going to talk about is the fabric for saris. More modern types of saris material include georgette, chiffon, and crepe. They are usually made of silk. Through artificial fabrics like rayon can also be used. Georgette and chiffon are known for their soft, smooth, and feminine feel, while crepe has a unique crumpled texture. Thank you, everyone. Hope you liked it.
Beautifully spoken, Sana.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sushim, I would like to request you to please play the two videos.
Yes, ma'am.
You have just watched a montage of some people getting together at important venues like boardrooms in beautiful locales such as well-manicured gardens and exchanging pleasantries. What does all this have to do with the activities of XENA and its vision for a better future? Actually, these are the people who work behind the scenes. They have taken time out of their work and family schedules to gather at centrally located places to discuss important issues. They did not necessarily know each other before these meetings, but they met nevertheless to present and listen to others' deeply held beliefs on how to achieve social well-being through XENA's mission and vision. These meetings typically went on for several hours. Some had a firm agenda, others were more unstructured brainstorming. In all instances, the members arrived at a consensus without any coercion or manipulation. All processes were democratic, nobody was superior or inferior. Nobody's personal values carried the day in the end. We show these pictures of people arriving at decisions on how to move forward, what to prioritize given the urgency of certain themes and contexts, and what to avoid so that the group unity doesn't suffer. These snapshots of people exchanging flowers, posing for group shots, and exchanging information about each other are indicators of cooperative working, respectful disagreement, and newly forged alliances based on mutual respect. These memories and milestones are a commitment to our larger mission and a promise that if you decide to join one of our many working groups, you too will have a sense of meaningful participation and collaborative learning.
Well, the mission and vision of XENA has really been explained very well in the last two videos. Now, there are people who create leaders. What do we call them? Do we call them leader creators? Or do we call them somebody who shapes leaders? Well, our first guest for today is Mrs. Mridula Das. She is a professional coach in the areas of leadership, relationship, and career coaching. As a learning and development professional for over 20 years of experience in the academic and corporate, she has expertise to lead and manage learning and development requirements of corporate organizations. She analyzes individual developmental needs of people in the organization and provide training and other developmental interventions to fulfill these needs, strategies to align learning and development with the organizational goals in diverse cultural space, coaching and mentoring leadership design, and execute business communications. Behavioral and soft skill programs are her main forte. Plan and create innovative digital learning material and train other trainers and staff to build their capacities in writing skills, teaching strategies, and facilitation skills. We can call she is a master for train the trainer. She uses behavioral and psychometric tools and emotional intelligence for leadership development design specific programs and train professionals from rural and semi-rural areas. She plans, designs, and edits contents. She develops learning material for the organization, trains professionals in business communication skills, functional skills, personality development, presentation skills, leadership skills, conflict management, negotiation skills, interviewing skills, etc., etc., etc. She specializes in developing and mentoring people to develop all their skills. She licenses with business partners and vendors for all requirement identification and deliveries. She uses TA-based training strategy for building executive leadership certified posh, and she is a certified posh enabler. So this is about Mrs. Mridula Das. Ma'am, I would request you to please take over the stage, because if I keep on speaking about you, time is just going to be taken away. And I think you'll be the best person to speak about all this.
Thank you, Reena. I think that was like, okay, it exhausted me. That's too many things to be said. I think to put it in a couple of sentences, um, I'm a learning professional. I believe in and work for talent development and human development. That's my area of expertise. I use various methodologies, various tools, and various philosophies. One of them being transactional analysis. My root in Indic culture, my upbringing in the Indic tradition has helped me to connect with people using our own educational methodologies, our indigenous way of connecting and developing people. So that's basically what I do. That's my core area of expertise. However, um, from the very beginning, from my childhood, I've been very connected with handloom. And I say handloom specifically because I come from Odisha, and Odisha has like hundreds of types of weaves. And I have grown up seeing my great grandmother, my grandparents, that is even my grandfathers, both on both sides, wear handloom at home and outside. Interestingly, even the home linen that we used, whether it was a bed sheet or a curtain or a towel, everything was handloom. So for me, handloom is almost like, एक तरफ से खून दौड़ रहा है और दूसरी तरफ से handloom दौड़ रहा है types. So that's been my connect with handloom. Of course, like all the people of our generation, we were told that we need to have a career, we need to study, we need to go do this, that, and the other. And our indigenous practices, somehow what was very close to my heart, stayed behind. It was in 2013, 2014, when I was I was called to take a break from my corporate career, where I was heading I was the country head for learning and development for in Pearson, India. When I was called for certain reasons to take a break, is when my mind started playing games with me and said, this is the time to hit. This is the time to, include another aspect to explore an area that I have been craving to do. And that's how I moved into handloom. Today's focus is on saris, and after what Shana has shared, amazingly collated piece of presentation, I would like to say a couple of words, add to that. Sari that we are using now, I feel it is culture agnostic. Because what exactly is a sari? A sari is nothing but a piece of woven cloth. And any culture, civilization that was growing, how did it happen? We learned to weave. We learned to put these things together. Okay, from taking the bark of the tree and leather from animals, which was beaten and made into a piece of and a piece to wear. Weaving came in. But interestingly, while cultures across the universe or across the globe were actually weaving, they didn't know how to sew. Stitching and sewing was something which is a much later, knowledge repertoire that has come in, a skill that has come in. So sari is nothing but a piece of cloth. Anybody and everybody can wear it. It fits all, irrespective of one's color, size, shape, gender. It fits all. It's just that the feminine version is called a sari. And she rightly said, Shana, that it comes from the Sanskrit word shati. or shati, I don't know, however you say it, which actually means a piece of cloth meant for covering. It had multiple names. It was actually called, the upper cloth was called an uttariya. Okay, it was called angavastra. All kinds of names were given to it. And if we go back to our own, Indic culture and the folk literature or the classical literature, we'll find absolutely fluid, beautiful, expressions and descriptions of how this piece of cloth was used to adorn a body. So this is a little bit about the sari. We have close to around 108 ways of draping within the subcontinent. 108 ways of draping. So if we start from Kanyakumari and try to move up the country and go up to Kashmir, we'll find various ways of draping a sari. My I think that's something which sari draping is something which is a subject by itself. Let me give a little bit about how I got into this whole handloom and textile and sari business. um, I remember growing up, seeing my grandmother wearing a sari which is like an ekavastra. When I say ekavastra, what I mean is there was no other cloth allowed and needed. The sari itself was enough to cover the person from the foot to the shoulder level. Therefore, the texture of that particular piece of cloth was different. It was made with thick yarn, cotton, and non-transparent. Believe me, if you really look at the whole country, across the country, you will find that people wear sari for all occasions and of different strata of society. The most common question that comes is, I can't manage a sari. I always, whenever that comes to me, I always say that think of the construction workers. Women who work at the construction site always wear a sari. And that is the most difficult, laborious, and tough job possible. Therefore, sari is here to stay. It will never peter out. That is one aspect. The other aspect is handloom. Handloom, with the coming of power loom, industrialization, factories, which were churning out meters and meters and meters of uh, endless cloth, the handloom sector started dying out. And my investment in that started from here. My passion to bring back what I have seen, I had a sense of nostalgia and a dreamlike quality that I lived in. Plus, seeing that, villages after villages that had this music of, the loom playing, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, the sound that you would get, those villages were becoming silent. And most of the people were moving into an unskilled or a semi-skilled kind of work area where they were earning money. Yes, some amount of money, definitely. But what were they doing with this, skill that they were carrying with them from generations? It was just dying out. And the culture, the indigenous traditions of our nation, of our country, was dying out. And that's what brought me together. I wanted to, for the sheer fact that I came from a learning background, education background, that is my core area of work. I was thinking in terms of how we can bring back this tradition, bring back this practice, and make it a mainstream area, or a mainstream field of discipline or field of education for the new generation. How can we bring in the pride that they need to run after a particular field of education or a discipline? For example, there was a major chunk of time in our country where all parents wanted that their child should either become an engineer or a doctor. And that had become the most elevated profession. The third was the services, right? So your ISS, IFS, IPS, and so on and so forth. But I think, just imagine that a weaver who most of the time does not know how to read and write creates these beauties with such precision, such mathematical placing of motifs, such intricate, weaving of ideas into it. And if we look at Odisha especially, Odisha has such a strong, such a vast tradition of weaving, where different varieties are there. I will take up only two pieces to discuss here. One is which the place I belong to, Ganjam district, Berhampur. It is known as the Silk City. It specializes in uncluttered, minimalistic, elegant weaving. That's the crux. That is the core of the weaving, design of this particular area. For years together, people had forgotten about it. I was very lucky that, my maternal family lives in a village neighboring to a weaver's village. And I've grown up seeing them actually weave. And they are amazing. So the kind of saris, if I describe the different kinds of weaves, today I'll only talk about three. One is the Ganjam Bomkai, which is almost a dead weave now, because there are hardly 3 to 4 people who are weaving it. This is the sari I was referring to when I said I saw my grandmother wear an ekavastra. They are woven on this thick yarn, 40 to 50 count yarn. The borders are always in contrast, and very much like this. What I am wearing now, for example, is this. I want to show you this part. What you see here, this is actually what is called a Mukta Punji weave border. Mukta Punji very clearly means a cluster of pearls. I bring it together closer, and you'll find very small temples. And these temples are not painted, not printed. They are woven. And this seems to be the most commonly used attire for women in Ganjam area for their day-to-day wear. And then, of course, was the patto. Patto, which was made of thick silk, matte finish thick silk. And I can actually demonstrate, show one piece here for your benefit over here, for all our audience to see what this patto looks like. What I have in front of me is a black one. You see beautifully, the border is not contrasted. And what I have here as a design is called a Dui Phuli design. 2 flowers, 2 rows of flowers on the border, and the whole body has these buttas, very minimalistic. You won't find any clutter anywhere. And the pallu just takes your breath away, because this is the contrast. Earlier, women used to wear these saris for, in fact, the Berhampuri silk was known for being a must for any bride's trousseau and the royalty, aristocracy, because of its minimalistic nature. It just suited the attire. Like Shana said, politicians prefer to wear this kind of sari and a particular style of blouse because that sets them apart from the crowd. And if you notice, women who are in the field of politics, women who are in the field of social work would wear this kind of very minimalistic attire. It also goes into the aristocracy. It goes into the normal, regular mango people, Aam Aadmi. Okay, everybody used to wear this kind of, this is Berhampuri. The other absolutely stunning and beautiful work that comes from Odisha is the ikat, what is called ikat. Interestingly, ikat is not an Indian word. It doesn't come, the etymology is not India, not from any Indian language. But in Odisha, we don't call it ikat, we call it bandha kamo. Bandhiva is to tie. A different version is available in Rajasthan and Gujarat, where the woven piece of cloth is tied to make bandhani design, called bandhani, right, for tying. But this is, the yarn is tied. And the process is so intricate. You know, you first have a design, an artist draws the design on paper. That is translated into a graph. That graph is given to the artisan called bondhali, meaning the person who ties, who then puts those dots on the threads. And these threads are not just one layer of thread, they would be 10 to 12 to 50 layers of threads. Those dots are put. And then it is given to the next level who ties it. So imagine if you are getting a piece of cloth. I'll show you something which is just two colors. For example, if you're getting, this is a very minimalistic ikat work. This is one of our designs. It's a very minimalistic ikat work. We have what? The white, the black, and the red. It has to be dyed twice to get this. First you dye and get one color. You remove that one. You actually, when you take it back, then you tie the ones which you want to keep and remove the other thread designs. And then you dye that part. And these are then given to the weaver. And I'm saying this, although, the idea was to share my journey, I'm sharing this because it's important for us to understand the amount of work that goes into creating bandha work, or the ikat as it is called. And in very unique, integral characteristic of Odisha bandha work, which is called by multiple names, Kotki, Sambalpuri, whatever, many names, as many people said that many names. The Odisha bandha work is like Odissi dance. If you have ever had the pleasure of the joy of watching Odissi dance, you will find that Odissi dance works in a fluid movement. The movement is always fluid. There are never geometrical cuts. No geometrical cuts. As opposed to Bharatnatyam, which works on the Nrita medium of cuts, geometrical. So it moves like this. The next would be like this, straight. But Odissi always moves in fluidity. The same is seen in the bandha work. If you look at, unfortunately, I don't have one to show you guys today, but if you actually look at a piece of intricate bandha work from Odisha, it would be as if it's painted. It's drawn and painted. You can't make out that it is a thread which is tied and then woven. And imagine the same work when it is done in a double ikat, what is called a double ikat. So every piece of a saree has two parts to it. You have the warp or the bana, and you have the long part, you have the weft or the bana, the shorter part, and you have the longer part, which is the warp or the tana. In a double ikat or a double bandha, the same color at the same point of the same motif is tied and dyed in both threads. And the weaver's job is to see that these both fit together. For me, that's nothing less than a miracle. That's nothing less than being divine. So I know why I am here in this field. Every time I see weavers, I see artisan work on this, I'm amazed. And every time I get a piece of work in my hand, it's divinity in my hand, because so many people have worked step by step to get this together. So that is the beauty of two things, two types of weaves that I wanted to share with you people. Of course, in Odisha, there is the tribal people, especially the Dongriya and the the Santal and the Kotpad weave. And now all of us are talking about being organic, going back to nature, leaving the chemical away, being eco-friendly. Let me share with you the Kotpad weave. The Kotpad weave is something that is actually following all these. The tribes from Koraput, they use ash and oil. They take organic cotton. They use dung ash. Okay, that means they make the what is called upla or goita or whatever it is called. That is that ash and oil, most often castor oil, and they season or pickle the thread, the organic thread, which is usually coarse. And most often women do this work.
And the color does
Women,
not go off.
it becomes ready for the natural colors they use. Because they use organic colors. They use aal. From the aal tree, they use manjishta or mother, as Shana was referring to one of the colors. They don't use indigo, actually speaking. They use iron and harida, what is called harita.
Also, I think good also they've used with mixed
Yeah,
with
good is
iron.
used as a binder, because good, when you add to this, it makes the color richer. It's used as a binder. And they don't use any kind of fastening agent other than natural agents.
Beautiful
And
process.
they weave these things. And if you find, now of course things are changing, but if you find a traditional totally rooted in their own culture Merigan community, women and men will wear only what they have woven, these pieces of cloth which were usually short, because they wear it slightly short, almost reaching the just above the ankles, right? And their style of draping is such that they don't need these 6 meters and 6.5 meters. They don't need 6-yard or 9-yard sarees, right? So their sarees would be 4.5 meters or whatever. And the work that they give. Another thing that is extremely, extremely inspiring for me is that when we go back to each locale, each point geographical, that is each point in space and culture, we will find that the handloom work always resonates that particular point of time and that particular space. So the motifs would always come from their own tradition, practices, the flora and fauna around. I mean, that is something that is beautiful. I think that happens across the globe. And then, of course, people have changed. So you will find that sometimes some old saris, you'll find they have woven a car or an aeroplane, especially in Kanjivaram. That could be that, the weaver's repertoire has added one new item and has tried to weave it into the sari. So this is just a tip of the iceberg of what I work with. So for me, this is like elevating myself to another level and learning at every point of time. Every time I interact with one of the weavers who is working with me, I'm learning something new. So now at this point of time, we have taken some concept from Geeta Govind, and we are designing a sari which is going to come out very soon. We have taken up a particular shloka from Geeta Govind, and we have created motifs around that along with that shlok. I'm not doing anything new. Geeta Govind is a very old tradition. Okay, Jayadev's Geeta Govind has been part of Puri temple from ages. So there's a certain group of weavers who weave only for Lord Jagannath. And they work in central Odisha, in the Nuapatna area. So we are working with this. I mean, I don't know. I have too much. I don't know how much time I have. Reena, how much time do I have? 5 minutes, 3 minutes?
You
Okay.
have another 5 minutes.
Yes. So I'm in track. So this is a kind of a वो पहले आता था ना वो डब्बे में बाइस्कोप दिखाने के लिए और हम जाके ऐसे देखते थे ना वो बाइस्कोप दिखाता था फलाना का चेहरा देखो फलाना का सर देखो फलाना का पैर देखो I think I have just done that much bit. What I am sharing right now is a dot in this huge canvas that I have to yet work on. So that's my work, and that's something which inspires me, and I think I am getting the result of it in a different way. One example I'll give you is one of my early weavers from Berhampur, with whom I was working. When I first started talking to him and working with him, this is his statement. And I will say that in Telugu because he speaks in Telugu. He said, Amma, మేము కూలివాళ్ళమ్మా మీరు ఏం చెప్తారో లేబర్ లాగా చేస్తాము मीनिंग हम तो कुली है कुली जैसे लोग हैं आप जैसा बोलोगे जो बोलोगे हम लेबर जैसा करते जाए Two, after working with him for 2 years, he would call me up at 10 p.m. in the night and say, Amma, I thought of a new motif. What do you think about this new color combination? This idea came to me and I couldn't wait. I had to tell you. That is my, I got it. My job satisfaction. That is my reward. This is the journey that I feel anybody who dips a toe into this field gets.
That was really amazing. In fact,
All that I would like is this is a field I have just started working in. I parallelly do run my talent development and my human development work. I practice my coaching, executive coaching work. I practice my leadership work without fail. I do a lot of relationship coaching using my transactional analysis, which is my one of the philosophies or schools of thought that I work with. But my idea is to inspire people, to motivate the new generation, the younger generation, to feel what I'm feeling right now. So that they come back don't feel ill-equipped because they have chosen their traditional artisan, their craft or art as their profession. They feel motivated and inspired to come back and take their own, whatever their parents or their family has been practicing as their mainstream discipline of work. Because as a society, as a group of buyers, as a nation, as a culture, we are able to, give them the remuneration, the respect, and love that they deserve.
Coming.
With this, I close my talk. Any questions or anything, you guys can actually just message me. I'm ready to respond. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
wow, that was really a deep insight into our traditional wear, a sari. As it's very truly said, one brain and many hands makes a strong team. And that's what Mrs. Mridula Das is doing. She just thinks or she just portrays her idea to her team and they bring it live. That is really amazing. We have somebody similarly, we can say she's quite similar to what Mridula ji is doing. And she, we can say that a designer is not necessarily a person who has a degree in designing or has something in black and white that, okay, she is certified to be a designer. A person needs to be a designer by heart. A person needs to have the courage to portray her mind, her vision on canvas. And that's what our next speaker, Meenakshi ji, is doing. Meenakshi ji is an experienced content consultant, skilled in customer service, editing, Microsoft Office, creative writing, and social media. She has a strong media and communication. She is a strong media and communication professional with a Bachelor's of Arts, BA honors in English literature, focused on English, psychology, political science from Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya Jalandhar, postgraduate in English literature, experienced teacher and editor with academic and non-academic books, have ghostwritten an autobiography for a senior corporate person, published author, poet, owner, proprietor, artist, and designer for Saree Creations. Let's welcome Meenakshi ji. Welcome, Meenakshi ji. This is something very little that we could gather about you, but I'm sure you are equipped with much, much more than what we've just spoken. So the stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you, Reena, for that lovely introduction. And I must say, I'm so impressed with what Mridula has already spoken about, her work. It's really inspiring, Mridula, what you're doing. And thanks to XENA World for having me here. So I'll give you some introduction about what I'm doing right now. So I have been a professional teacher and editor, but then during a period of time, I lost a job and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I have been an artist since childhood. So I started my watercolor paintings again after a span of around 20 years. So I picked up watercolor painting. It took me a while to relearn the techniques and everything, but I took my time. I painted every single day during the 2 years of COVID. So then I had this urge to put these paintings to some use. I did not want to sell the paintings per se, but I wanted them to be used as designs, specifically on ceramics, fabrics, and stationery. These three things I really wanted to do. So I've seen designs being posted by designers, professional artists. They put their paintings and designs onto different surfaces. It's called surface pattern. So they create those patterns with a basic drawing or a basic painting. So I have some skills in Photoshop, which I taught myself around 15 to 20 years back. So I was able to take a painting, put it in Photoshop, and create a design with it. A design for a diary cover or for a mug, even for a sari. So what I'm working on is my paintings put on different surfaces. And since I wanted to be connected to my roots, I come from Kashmir basically. So I've grown up with a lot of creative, artistic outpouring on different surfaces. You'll see paper mache, you'll see embroidery, you'll see weaving. So there's a lot of stuff happening there. So I wanted the name, whatever name I choose for my business, I wanted it to connect me back to Kashmir. So the only name I decided I can live with for the rest of my life is my grandmother's name. So my grandmother was Taravati. So and her shortened name was Tarai. So the brand name is Tarai Creations. So it's a carrying forward of traditional values and traditional beliefs and everything. So I registered the company about 2 years back. I got my GST made and I started putting out things with my designs on them. The very first few products were mugs, diaries, tote bags. I mean, I had no idea at that time where I'm going, but I knew that I'm going to expand into other areas as well. And I did not have a team of designers. I had nobody to help me. It was only my children who have been there to help me. My children are young. My daughter is working in New York. My son is here. He's working with an MNC. So with these two young minds to help me, I could overcome a lot of technical glitches which I faced either in designing or in Photoshop files. I had to understand a file size, pixels I had to understand, DPI I had to understand. I had to teach myself a lot of new things just to be able to create one simple, plain design. The simplest design I'll show you. See, this is a painting I had made of monstera leaves on white background. And this has gone on to become one of the most popular, the best seller designs on mugs. I must have sold in the span of these like 1.5 years, around 100 of these. It's been the most sought after design on mugs. So that is a watercolor painting that has gone on to the mug. And it's also gone on to a diary. And there are several other paintings which have gone on to make diaries. Let me show you. I do not have all the designs here at the moment, but this is one. This is called a window cut. So the cover has a window cut into it, and you open it, and this is the painting inside. And these are the leaflets, plain writing paper to be used for scribbling your notes or whatever. And this was a painting I had made of Old Delhi, Chandni Chowk. So the painting is a little bigger than this, but when we designed the diary with it, it had to be cut short to fit it into the diary cover of this particular size. For a larger diary, the design is bigger. This is a smaller design. And here's another one. This I made specifically for bakers, women who love to bake or cook, or for children who love to have something pleasing to look at. So these are the diaries. So this was the first few things I made. And I had this desire to continue doing something because I was making a lot of landscapes. I was making floral designs. So floral paintings, if you are familiar, go very well on chiffon sarees. But I did not know where to find the fabric, where to find the printer, how to go about it. For example, like Bhuvna is working with weavers. She's grown up with that thing, that community is all around her. I have not grown up with anybody doing a business or any work in printing or doing something with their art. So I asked around, I asked people in NIFT, I asked my friends, I asked a lot of people who are currently fashion designers, but they were not of any, they were not able to help me with this, where to go and whom to find to be a printer. And finally, it was Mr. Rajiv Anand. He put me in touch with someone, and that's how it all started. So that was about a year back when I first got a few stoles printed with my paintings, digitally printed on them. I don't want to go to the hand painted route. I don't want to do that because I do not have enough information about it. It needs, you have to prepare the fabric, you have to paint on it, it takes hours, then you have to fix. It has to go through a process of steaming to fix the colors on it. And all that, since I do not have the knowledge, so I don't want to go into that. So I'm happy to paint, make a design, and have it printed. And the end products are often very nice. It's been a beautiful journey for me also. So I'll show you 2-3 sarees which I have here. See, this is a chiffon saree. And what you see on the pattern is a painting, which is, that saree has fallen away somewhere. But this is an actual wild roses pattern painted, and that design has gone on chiffon as well as on silk. This is on chiffon. And it's a painting, and the design pattern and everything was made by me in Photoshop. Then this is a passion flower, if you can make out. It's a passion flower, passion fruit flower it's called. So this also I have designed on in Photoshop myself. This is again a chiffon saree. And this is again one of my best-selling designs. I've sold a number of these sarees. And as per that desire to go back to handlooms, so I checked around and I found somebody in Banaras who has fabric woven there. So this is a tussar silk made in Banaras. The fabric is tussar, it's made in Banaras, and the design has been digitally printed on it. This is again my painting transferred on, digitally transferred onto the fabric. So this is handloom and hand woven. Then I also make sarees on mulberry silk and on organza. And I would love to go into the handloom route, but I do not know how to transfer my paintings onto handloom fabrics without going through those chemical processes. So if there is a way, I still need to find it. If there is a way of using handloom fabrics, the cotton fabrics that we have abundance of in India, I would love to put my designs on fabrics and continue with that same tradition that we have. I'm a sari lover myself. I have been wearing saris 6 days a week to work. And I remember people used to tell me, how can you wear a sari every day? It is one of the most comfortable dresses I find. It just does not require much attention. Once you pin it up, you're ready to go. That's all that's the only thing I find. Aapko ek pin lagana hai, that is it. And as per what I want to do in future, I really want to expand into, this is not, sari is not the only thing I'm looking at. I've been making dupattas. I have made a few suits also. I also want to get into linen work now. Linen as in bed covers, bed sheets, cushion covers. So my mind is like exploding with all these ideas every single day. I cannot sleep at night because I'm either dreaming of a fresh design, or I have a painting which I want to put on a fabric, or I have a something bothering me that I have to do this. So it's a fresh dream for me. It's not been a long-standing process. It's just started about 2 years back, and this is where I am right now. And there's so much more to do. I'm still not done. There's a lot more to do. And what I would, since we have youngsters connected with us on the show, I would advise them, if you have a talent, do not let it go waste. If you have a talent, it's there for a reason. Follow it up. Do listen to your inner voices. Do listen to what your heart says. Do something with it. It doesn't have to be a race after money, but please do follow your talent. Do something with it. If it gives you joy, you can share that joy multifold. Give it to others. It doesn't have to be a business completely. You can collaborate with somebody and learn from the process. And regarding the business part of it, I would advise anyone, if you're going to make your talent into a business, do register as a company. Mridula, you have a different process completely. I'm talking of what I have learned. So my learning curve has been, if you plan to sell something under your name, you have to register as a brand, get it registered, find a chartered accountant who will help you, who will guide you. You need to have a chartered accountant. And if you can learn a new skill, please do it. If it helps a business, learn those new skills, whatever those might be. It's never that you know everything. That never happens. You can never know everything you need to know. There's something or the other that comes up. There will be glitches. There will be failures. You will lose money, and you have to take it in your stride. The one thing I have been very clear about is not using the family money to follow my dreams. Somebody told me the other day that women are not fit to run a business. I disagree. It may not be that I have to run a household on that, but I have to manage my finances. I have to be responsible for what I'm putting, where, how much, and what return I'm getting. I have to file the returns. I'm answerable to myself, not to anybody else. I'm answerable to myself. So please learn those skills, educate yourself every single day. For the generation that went before me, they did not have access to internet. Now the social media is erupting with ideas. Go and educate yourself, find what you need to know, and then put it to some use. For me, I do not have a store. I do not have a website, but I'm selling the stuff through exhibitions, which again came to me through social media. People contacted me because they saw what I was posting at Instagram or at Facebook. And then by word of mouth, the things have started taking shape. I still do not plan to have a store or a showroom at any point of time. I do not want to do that. I'm happy doing what I'm doing at my pace. I do not want to rush it. And I do not want to expand into a business that I cannot handle, because I do not plan to have any partners in this. This will be here and now till I am able to work. This will continue. And if my children plan to take it on, that is entirely up to them. It's not, we are not a business family, and it's not a business that will be passed on. That is completely a choice of children. They have their own careers and everything. And how much can you sell, and how much should you be concerned about, like what Mridula mentioned, the quality of the fabric? You should be very concerned. You should be concerned about what you're selling, the fabric that you need to know. You need to know the grammage of the fabric. I learned new words like GSM. I know the GSM of watercolor paper, that I know. But I had to learn how many grams per meter of cloth. That will depend, that will decide how good your painting looks on the fabric. A heavier GSM gives you a better result. A lighter GSM will not give you the same result in printing. I don't know how weaving works and whether GSM is ever applied in weaving, but for printing work, you need to know your GSM. You need to know the fabrics that will work, and you need to find good printers. Then you also need to understand that every time you create a design, it's not going to come out the way you visualized it. It will be different. There will be glitches. There will be fault lines. There will be, what can I say? The colors will come out different. The design will look different. So it's a process of repeating. You learn, you make it once, you make it twice, and finally at some point it comes out better than you expected. So this is all I have to say here. But one thing I must say, I am in the business of creating printed designs, but I am a complete lover of handloom and woven stuff. So if there were a way that these designs could be incorporated into a woven pattern, I don't know whether that is possible or not. I would love to do that. I would love to put, or maybe learn a skill where I can maybe not do this, maybe not put the designs on sarees, but I can continue putting them on other things, and then put designs on other things which are where this woven and Indian thread and Indian handloom is not such a big issue. The designs can still live. My desires can still live, that I have done this, but maybe not on a saree, in a different form. So that is what I would, and anybody who's an artist here, if you have a passion, let me tell you one thing, you cannot do this unless your dreams are keeping you awake at night. You cannot do this. Anything. If your dreams are keeping you awake at night, only then get into anything. Half-hearted ways will not take you anywhere. I have lost money. I have lost fabric. I have lost relationships, not with the family, relationships with dealers who were giving me fabric or who were giving printing for me. But it has taught me so much. And another thing, everything that you have learned or been interested in from childhood till whatever age you are now at, it is all going to lead you to something. And having a career is one thing, having a dream and a passion is different. You can combine the two, you can make your dream your career, but please do not just retire someday and say, I have nothing to do. Have a career and have a passion that you can follow at any age. I have started this business after crossing 50. And I keep telling my children that I will not be able to do this after 10 years. And every time I keep hearing that lady started it at this age, that lady started her business at this age, so why can't you continue? So it's inspiring. I love the entrepreneur, the way things are changing in India, the way women are getting into, they're following their dreams. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Small businesses like they say, made in India, made by Indian women. And I am very happy to be part of that. So that is all I have to say here. Thank you so much for having me.
Here, I would
Very
like
well
to
said.
just, seek a permission of the organizers to just share my views. Three cheers to you, ma'am, for sharing such a wonderful idea, such a wonderful thought. You have presented such an inspiring leadership journey of yours, and this is I would like to present a token of maybe a standing applause had I been there in front of you. So it is really great to hear you and to hear everyone for whatever time I have been able to hear to join you, since it's Sunday. So my Sundays are always double occupied. So, but this is something really amazing, and I really, really appreciate you. And it's lovely. It's been lovely listening to you. And if I come to know something across like this, I would definitely would like to share. If your numbers are there in the chat box, we will definitely would like to connect you. If at all, I will not make a tall promise here, but if yes, if I get somebody, I would like to, because I am a firm believer of that world is eco. What goes around comes around. So if you do good to somebody, definitely good will come to you in many forms. So 3 cheers to you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Very well said, Meenakshi ma'am. Until and unless your dreams keep you awake, you cannot succeed.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the same boat.
So I dream of designs at night,
I dream of so many things, then I pen them down, and then I just tick it up, the thing that is done, and then I move ahead. So,
Reena, I just wanted to respond to one thing which Meenakshi said. Is that okay? Do I get
yeah,
it?
please go ahead.
Meenakshi, you said, is there a possibility of, using your paintings in the weave format? Let us see what is possible. Especially when we think in terms of, so the weaves are of different kinds, and I'm working with 2 types. One, which is the bandha kama, which is the, the coloring and drawing, tying is done. The other is this kind of work, which is called the jala work or the extra shuttle work, 2 types of work, where an extra thread is taken to give you the design. So let's see what's possible.
Sure.
Let's stay in touch. Yeah, let's stay connected, and I'll see how we can work it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll definitely do that. I think that works out. A small idea which has been in my mind. If your paintings are not fluid canvas, okay, but they are there is a, but they, that you take them as motifs, certain motifs. You could always use block printing.
I want to learn. Yeah, I want to learn block printing.
Block printing is very easy. I'm a trained textile designer.
No, but Reena, you need to create blocks.
See, you can get the blocks made on lathe.
I haven't found somebody. See,
you are in Delhi, right?
I'm in Delhi.
I'll share some numbers. I belong to Meerut originally, but I'm in Dehradun right now, and we have lots of people in Meerut who make these designs and they courier it to you. You just need to give them the design. You just need to give them the motifs, and they'll create it into a block and send it to you. And you get some really good ready-made blocks also.
So
unique designs.
So once I have the blocks, I also need to, that's why I was asking Mridula also whether she does workshops. I'm very keen to do a workshop on block printing because you have to learn the entire process.
I can give you a workshop on that.
Please do.
It's very simple.
I'll be part of it. I'll learn the block printing part.
Sure, definitely. I'm a trained fashion and textile designer. I did my fashion and textiles almost 25 years back.
Oh, lovely.
That doesn't matter. वो cycling जैसा है, वो blood में रहता है.
वो रहता है. That's why, I was smiling all the way from here to here when you both were speaking.
So, I have been watching hundreds of videos on YouTube which teach you how to make the colors. Like she was talking about
The
indigo.
colors are very simple to make, They're very simple to make. Okay, others will get bored. We can discuss about it later on.
Yeah.
Because we have just around 24 minutes left.
Okay.
Rajiv Bhaiya, I would request you to please connect all three of us. Please share our numbers. We'll be very glad to connect and start working on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I am a special educator and a counselor also, wherein I am dealing with children with learning disabilities, mainstreaming them.
No. So I can come to Dehradun and take a
Yeah, definitely you can come to Dehradun and you can stay with me. You're most welcome.
Oh, nice. So I belong to Kashmir, so mountains are always a beautiful thing for me.
Yeah,
Reena, I'm also hooking myself to this. May
Yeah,
not come
definitely.
along with Meenakshi immediately because, as I said, I'm
Anytime, you're
recovering
most
from injury.
welcome. I'm just 28 kilometers away from Mussoorie.
So I must thank Mr. Rajiv Anand for bringing me here. Like I'm a very reluctant participant in any kind of meetings, or I have been dodging
And
him.
he's the one who's always pulling me.
No, I've been dodging all this for years. Ask him. I've been dodging.
He's the one who's always pulling me. Come out, start working. Come out, start working.
Yeah. So I would love to do that workshop with you.
Definitely. It's not a rocket science. It's very simple. All you need to know is the proper proportion of colors and what all dyes and all you mix together. That's it.
Chalo, theek hai. We'll get back.
And the motifs, all you need to create the motifs, give it to the person, he'll make it on lathe. In fact, I have got a group of students
Acha.
who are getting these designs made on laser cutting machines.
Okay.
So we can give this to them as a project and they can do it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's do this.
So, Reena, you just, once we connect, let me know what kind of work you do. If I am able to add value somewhere, I would love
Definitely.
to. In any capacity.
You can Google about II Global Institute. It is India's first virtual institute, school rather, where we are training children from kindergarten to grade 12 virtually, and they are doing all amazing stuff.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Because COVID has taught us how to become virtual.
Yes, it's all a virtual thing now.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, ladies, to disturb you. We have other people waiting, and today being Sunday is very busy for me also. We've got 21 minutes in hand. So let us continue with the flow. Any questions from anybody, please do text me. I'll be forwarding the questions to them and they both will be answering it. We've got 10 minutes for that. I don't think anybody has many questions because I guess they were all mesmerized in whatever you both were speaking. So I think we can move ahead. Let me introduce Professor Vinay Kumar Pandey. Professor Vinay Pandey is a retired Air Force official. He retired way back in year 2000. Having had a distinguished and commended term with IAF, and equally vibrant civil career, he commands a very colossal practical experience of over 4 decades, ranging from engineering, academics, industrial experience to communication, relations, and management. As an apt all-rounder, he has been second by none in the areas of responsibilities he shares during his diversified tenure of services. He has very sound command over the languages he knows. His passion also includes writing in general and expressing his thoughts in the form of poetry in particular. The traits of dedication, punctuality, and sincerity add to his persona to render its reliable and dependable form. Sushim, I'm sorry, Mr. Professor Pandey won't be available. He sent a recorded message. Sushim, can I request you to please play the video?
Yes, ma'am.
नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रीना प्रकाश त्यागी जी, आपके सदे शब्दों के लिए जो आपने मेरे बारे में कही। और जीना ग्लोबल फैमिली फाउंडेशन की ओर से आयोजित इस कार्यक्रम में धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव प्रेषित करने का जो अवसर आपने हमें दिया है, उसके लिए मैं आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। मैं किन्हीं व्यक्तिगत कारणों से इस कार्यक्रम में अपनी जीवंत उपस्थिति नहीं दे पाया, मगर यकीन मानिए मैं इससे आत्मीय तौर पर अवश्य जुड़ा रहा। इसकी योजना के आगाज़ से लेकर इसके अंतिम संयोजन तक कहीं न कहीं मैं इससे अनायास ही जुड़ता रहा। आज का विषय भी बहुत ही रोचक और स्थिति संगत है, जहाँ एक ओर हमारा समाज वैश्विक या यूँ कहें कि पाश्चात्य संस्कृति की ओर बेवजह ही आकर्षित हो रहा है, वहीं दूसरी ओर ऐसे प्रयासों की भी कमी नहीं है जिनसे हम अपनी संस्कृति को न केवल संरक्षित रख सकते हैं, बल्कि उसे और उसकी अच्छाइयों को वैश्विक स्तर पर पहचान भी दिला सकते हैं। फटी जीन्स जैसी लिबासों की होड़ वाले इस कालखंड में साड़ी की बात करना कितना युक्तिसंगत, कितना तार्किक और कितना साहसपूर्ण हो सकता है, वो इस कार्यक्रम से जाना जा सकता है। मैं इस कार्यक्रम की विस्तृत जानकारी तो निस्संदेह इसके संपूर्ण होने के बाद ही पा पाऊँगा, उसकी रिकॉर्डिंग को देखने के पश्चात। लेकिन मुझे इस बात को कहने में ज़रा भी संकोच नहीं है कि इस सत्र में प्रमुख वक्ता और स्वागत भाषणकर्ता के रूप में सुश्री सना भट्टाचार्य जी के विचार निश्चित रूप से बहुत ही प्रेरक और उत्साहवर्धक होंगे। इसके लिए मैं उनका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। सत्र के प्रमुख वक्ता सुश्री मृदुला दास एवं मीनाक्षी वत्स अपना कीमती समय निकालकर यहाँ उपस्थित हुई और अपने बहुमूल्य विचारों से हम सबको अवगत कराया। इसके लिए धन्यवाद शब्द शायद बहुत ही हल्का सा लगे, अतः मैं आप दोनों विदुषियों को यथोचित साधुवाद देना चाहता हूँ और जीना ग्लोबल फैमिली फाउंडेशन की ओर से आपका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। सुश्री रीना जी ने जिस तरह सत्र का संचालन किया और आगंतुकों का आतिथ्य किया, वह निस्संदेह काबिले तारीफ़ है। वैसे भी रीना जी इसमें खासा माहिर हैं, जहाँ तक मैं समझता हूँ। अतः रीना जी, आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अपने परिवार में एक बालवीर भी हैं जिनका नाम है सुसीम सुदय। सुसीम सुदय हमारे तकनीकी सहायक हैं और अपना काम बखूबी जानते हैं और करते हैं। इनके बगैर तो यह परोक्ष मंच शायद इतनी सफलता नहीं प्राप्त किया होता, क्योंकि इनका जो योगदान है वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। इसलिए मैं अपने प्रिय सुसीम को मेरा सस्नेह धन्यवाद कहता हूँ और अंततः मेरा निष्ठापूर्ण धन्यवाद जाता है इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजक, संयोजक और मूल अन्वेषक श्री राजीव आनंद जी को, जिन्होंने इस तरह के रोचक और लीक से अलग एक विषय चुना और इस आयोजन को मूर्त रूप देने में सफल रहे। सभी प्रतिभागियों, भूमिका निभाने वालों या प्रत्यक्ष या परोक्ष रूप से इससे संबंधित समस्त सदस्यों का मैं हार्दिक आभार प्रकट करता हूं और सहृदय धन्यवाद देता हूं। इसी के साथ हमारा नमस्कार स्वीकार करें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
थैंक यू विनय जी। आपकी उपस्थिति हम लोगों को बहुत अखरेगी, क्योंकि जब भी आप उपस्थित होते हैं तो हम लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लगता है और जो आप बोलते हैं वो तो बिल्कुल ऐसा होता है कि सुनते रहें सुनते रहें सुनते रहें। शुद्ध हिंदी आजकल बहुत कम सुनने को मिलती है। सुशीम, I think we can go with the XENA anthem, please.
सदस्य जीनत है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा। हम सदस्य जीनत है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा। कष्ट गरीबी दुख हरने का हम संकल्प उठाएं, धरती को कुटुंब करने के लिए प्रयास बढ़ाएं। कष्ट गरीबी दुख हरने का हम संकल्प उठाएं, धरती को कुटुंब करने के लिए प्रयास बढ़ाएं। हम सदस्य जीना के है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा। सबको रोजी रोटी हो और सबको हो खुशहाली, हो निर्बाध विचार भावना सदा सीखने वाली। सबको रोजी रोटी हो और सबको हो खुशहाली, हो निर्बाध विचार भावना सदा सीखने वाली। हम सदस्य जीनक है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा। दया क्षमा नैतिकता हो और हो सम्मान सभी का, सबको यूं अपना माने के दिल ना दुखे किसी का। दया क्षमा नैतिकता हो और हो सम्मान सभी का, सबको यूं अपना माने के दिल ना दुखे किसी का। हम सदस्य जीनक है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा। हम सदस्य जीनक है जीना परिवार हमारा, चारों ओर खुशी फैलाने का है अपना नारा।